Hi, Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to the Magellan Network Show. For nearly 30 years, I've been focused on helping advisors become the best both personally and professionally. This show is dedicated to sharing with you tools, tips, strategies, distinctions, things that are working now. I'd love for you to take a moment, and if you're watching this on YouTube, click the like button and also the subscribe button so you get automatic updates. And if you happen to be listening to us on a podcast, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and you leave a positive review for us. Now, with that said, let's get to today's episode. Hi, this is your Coach Joe Lucas, and welcome to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. In this episode, I'm going to, this will be a very personal episode for me. I'm going to share with everyone some of my current thinking on what I'm going to do with the rest of my career and why you may want to pay attention to it and may want to grab some of these pieces, if you will, inside of your own game. So let me kind of set the stage for our conversation in this episode. I've been coaching now for just about 28 years, purely financial advisors. And so 30 years is coming up pretty quick, right? I'm closer to 30 than I am 25. And when I hit my 25th anniversary, we had this, we were in one of our mastermind meetings in Chicago with some of my nearest and dearest clients who are also my friends. And they were nice. They actually threw me a little celebration. My wife orchestrated it. It was very nice, very emotional, very moving. And I committed in each and every one of them that I would not abandon them for the next 25 years, which would take me to basically at that time my actual age of 80. And so for the last several years, that has been my thinking, right? I'm going to coach till I'm 80. I'm going to put 50, literally 50 years into the game. And that's been always my thinking. And then what I tend to do in the morning as part of my morning ritual is that I walk. I walk in the morning. Here in Florida, obviously in the summer, you walk very early. And for me, it's like a walk and talk. So, and literally I will talk to myself, which I know some of the other people walking around are wondering, because I do have earphones in, I'm on the phone, but for me, it just helps me express and sometimes get clarity to my thinking. So I was on a walk a couple weeks ago, and this whole thing of my next move, right? Because my business is great, we're economically abundant. Considering a pandemic, I'm totally grateful. And then I asked myself, okay, so you're grateful for the next 25 years. So we kind of mapped out the next 25 years, what I'm going to do, how my game's going to be played, things like that. And another thing you got to know about me is that I am not naturally gifted. Okay, what I mean by that is that my success is by willpower, effort, and I call grinding on it. I'm an excellent grinder. I've grinded on my success for over a quarter century. So there's nothing overnight about me. There's nothing that's really effortless about me. It's about doing the work. And I find that if you subscribe to the theory, you can just kind of float through life and not put energy and effort in. It doesn't mean you don't get downtime. It doesn't mean we don't get balance and integration. But let's face it, I don't subscribe to the theory you can just think and manifest stuff and it just appears. I think you have to do the work. I think it's good to think about things, but ultimately you got to make stuff happen, right? Take action. And so when I'm on this walk, I ask myself a question. I say, look, 80, that's cool. I like it, right? 25 years, year 80, right? I'll be 57 this year. And then I ask a very interesting question. I go, what happens on year 81? And some of you who are maybe in your late 50s, 60s, like as advisors, you've had a great career, economically you're in great shape, and you start wondering what your next act is. What's my next move, right? You start thinking about, do I retire? What does that look like? Why do I even want to do that? And just as a quick sidebar conversation, I'm totally, my mindset with my clients is I only want you to retire on your terms when you're ready, and that may not be to your late 70s or early 80s. We're going to create a game for you that you can stay in this game, get as much time freedom as you want. And look, and I've had clients who have thought about retirement and they've tested it, right? They've taken a little mini sabbatical. Most of them come back and say, there's only so much fishing I can do, there's only so much golf I can play, and my spouse is tired of me. I need something to do, right? So now we realize that, hey, really the traditional retirement for advisors, at least for most of us, probably not a good idea. Because it's who we are. So it's really about setting up the game in your 60s, 70s, and 80s to be like CEO, chairman emeritus, rainmaker, maybe deal with some clients, have a lot of time freedom, locational freedom, but still own your business, still be, if not the majority equity, majority equity person, definitely have a stake in the game. Because let's also face it, monetization wise, what are you going to get? 2.5x, maybe 3x by then? It's not like you're getting 17 or 23 EBITDA, right? So the monetization is not that great. Your game, like my game, is a cash flow game. Cash flow, money we make. So fast forward to my walk and talk. Ask myself the question of what happens at year age 81. I'm like, and I stopped walking. And I looked at this lake that we have on the golf course. And I went, I haven't got a freaking clue. And then I start looking through scenarios, right? Well, I could do this, and but I get bored. I could travel. Okay, I'm not gonna travel 12 months a year. Like that's not gonna work, right? Yeah, I can do nonprofit travel, so I kind of do that now, so I can maybe increase that a little bit. That's not gonna take up everything. Then I also, and some of you understand this. How do you say goodbye to clients that have been with you for 25, 30, 35 years at that point? How do you say, hey, thank you very much. Hope you do well. Hope you find somebody to help you. I'm out of here. How do you do that? And then that kind of struck me, because a lot of my long-term clients are really friends. When I think about kind of who I associate with, it's them. Inside of our work, inside of Zoom, right? When we do our mastermind meetings, right? When we do these things, we get to connect. And I'm like, do I just hey, see you later, bye. I'll refer you to another coach. And I realized that, that wasn't going to work for me. Like, what am I going to do? Just go off into the wilderness somewhere and die like an animal? So I asked myself a different question. What if I changed the frame and said, I'm going to coach till I'm 80, basically, right? Which is what I said. And we change the frame and say, we're going to now coach to over 100. We're going to set a marker. Now, when I just said that, some of you just rolled your eyes and shook your head. And I get that. But hear me. I have no guarantee on that. I know that. My body can fail. Something can happen, an accident. I understand that. That could happen today. That could happen today. So I went on a walk. I finished my walk, and I had this, coach to 100 in my head. And now what I tend to do is not just kind of blurt stuff out. I like it to gestate, age a little bit, think through it a little bit more. So I was on a Sunday morning. I was with my wife. We were taking a ride along the coast because it was just a nice morning here, early again because it's summer in Florida. And I let her know, I said, I'm changing my strategic concept. I'm not going to just coach till I'm 80 because I don't know what the hell I would do at 81. And I said, I'm going to roll this puppy till I'm 100. And she said, that's a good idea because I don't know what you would do with you and you'd probably drive me crazy. So good, we're on the same page. But then I said, what does this mean? So okay, so you declare it, you put the marker out there. So what does that mean today, right? What it means, think about this. A minimum of, figure 40 years, right? From right now, basically for actually 43. So, 40 quarters a decade. I've got a minimum of 160, more like 172 quarters to accomplish things. Let me ask you a question. What could you accomplish in your life and your business with 172 quarters? Or 100 quarters? Or 40 quarters? All of a sudden, the concept of time shifts. Right? Got plenty of time. All of a sudden, I felt the pressure, because I'm a grinder, right? So I'm always got to get things happening, grind, right? Got to keep moving the ball. All of a sudden, I'm going to move the ball. I'm just going to slow, but I'm going to slow the roll. I'm going to enjoy things because I'm going to die with more money than I can ever spend in my lifetime anyway. My kids will be great. I mean, they're going to be employed they'll be with my company till they're almost in their 70s. And then when I pass away, they're going to inherit it. It's great to be my kids. That's right. So one of the things that came out was great to be my kids, right? My adult children. And I'd say, that's purpose. Now, does that mean I'm going to operate the way I'm operating today? No. I mean, who knows? I mean, the way with Zoom, if you would ask me 10 years ago, what would my business look like? Describe it. Zoom would not be part of that conversation. And yet, 80% of my work is on Zoom, right? So guess what? Who knows what 20, 30 years look like? Well, maybe we'll be doing holograms, right? Virtual presence. I have no idea. All I know is I will embrace it when it appears. And I will always keep cutting edge. But I'm telling you, for some of you who are like, they're thinking about the end game, or what does that look like for you? Why? Why? Imagine a game where you declare yourself, I will be an advisor to them now. With that said, variables, right? Your health, mental acuity, stuff like that. So here's what's interesting. Once I declared that, I went into, okay, so what do I need to do to make that happen, right? Because now, okay, here's the goal. What has to happen? Mindset, right? I got the mindset. What has to happen? I said, I got to take better care of myself. I need more rest. I need to make sure I'm eating food for my mind and my body. I need to make sure I'm supplementing the way I need to. Got to make sure I'm with my doc, make sure we're locked in on what's going on with my body. Because, man, I'm going to do this for a long time. And I'm going to do it at a high level. Yeah, look, maybe I may have an exoskeleton on by then. Who knows? Maybe there's something sticking out of my head, because there may be some brain stimulus stuff going on by then. Who knows, right? Or we're growing a body part. I have no idea. But I plan to be here at 100 to figure it out and to experience it. So I just want you to, for some of you guys and gals out there, your best years, I have a deep-rooted belief. Your best year in this game is your last year in this game. That we go out with a championship. Whether that's at 60, 65, 70, 80, 85, 90, 100. It's our best year. I just wanted to share that with everyone. It's like, for me, I hope you can appreciate how profound for me this is. I've got 43 years in front of me. I've got 4 10-year strategic plans to go, plus. I feel like I have all the time in the world. Like all the pressure of getting it done now, pushing. Why? Enjoy life. Stretch it out a little bit. None of us we're not pilots. We don't have to hang it up at a certain age. We're not professional athletes that have to say goodbye when our bodies stop. We have the gift of longevity inside this game. Let's use it. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Magellan Network Show. Hey, if any of this resonated with you, I invite you to come to MagellanNetwork.net, and we have a powerful group coaching community of like-minded advisors. Come in for a trial. You and I will have a one-on-one conversation. Let's see if I can help elevate your game, both personally and professionally.